Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about Danielle BREGOLI, aka Bad Baby, and a video she made talking about Turnabout Ranch because I feel like it's a very important topic and a lot of people are not talking about it. So recently I saw a video of Bad Baby talking about the time that she spent at Turnabout Ranch, which is a boarding school for troubled teens. And she spent time there after Dr. Phil recommended that her mother take her there to help her correct her ways. Because if you guys remember, Danielle BREGOLI used to be very troubled. She used to get in a lot of trouble, like serious trouble. She started to carry weapons. She would break into cars and she would do things to put her mother in some kind of trouble, in legal trouble, and she'd been in legal trouble before. So her mother thought that she was getting out of hand, and her mother took her to Dr. Phil. And after her time speaking with Dr. Phil recommended Turnabout Ranch. A lot of psychiatrists and psychologists, recommend Turnabout Ranch for troubled teens. And it's a ranch for troubled teens to go there and basically get their life together. Danielle BREGOLI had a very negative experience and she was talking about it, and it just made me think about a few things that I wanted to say about these kinds of places. So first of all, Turnabout Ranch is an actual ranch, right? And it's for troubled teens, but they have academic programs as well. The programs are middle and high school level programs. They're accredited, and in addition to the academic programs, the ranch also teach the kids leadership and teamwork according to their homepage. This is what I saw on their homepage, as well as accountability and responsibility and how to basically move around in the real world in a way that is conducive to everyone so they can coexist peacefully with other people. So the ranch teach troubled teens life skills in addition to academic skills, and basically just how to conduct themselves. So it sounds like they have a nice program and it is aimed at helping these troubled teens when they go there. However, Danielle BREGOLI mentioned a lot of negative things that she witnessed. There's a video of it in Hollywood Unlocks Instagram. So if you guys want to see the full video, you can go over there and watch her full video. I'm not gonna go into details now because I can't. It's a long video, so I'm just gonna touch on a few points. So she talked about her experience there and how certain things had to be earned. So you had to earn being able to eat good foods, and you had to earn being able to be warm, otherwise you'll be cold. So they give you all these tasks that you're expected to complete, and as you complete them, you earn the ability to get all of these amenities that are not available to everybody there. Okay, so things like food, she mentioned good food. She mentioned heat, to be able to stay in a warm place so that you're not very cold. And she mentioned a few other things. And she also talked about a person who lost their life there as a result of one of the students who was upset and ended up taking the life of one of the workers and harming another worker who ended up passing away sometime later. So when I went to the homepage, the website of Turnabout Ranch, they have nice pictures, and I kind of got an idea of what their goal is for these kinds of places. It gives a good vibes, and it looks like they have rules, and they have very strict rules at Turnabout Ranch. Actually, they have very strict rules. It's in Utah, and it's in kind of an isolated place, and it's an actual ranch. So they have very strict rules that their workers should maintain, such as no physical contact with the kids that are there. And some of these staffers seem to keep to these rules. It also seems as though they have some very good reviews from people that have been there. So the ranch has helped some people. So I don't think it is all bad. Otherwise, all of these professionals and medical professionals will not be recommending kids there. But there are some kids that these kinds of places do not work for, and that's what I want to talk about. So what I want to say is this. First, starting with the things, the amenities that the kids have to earn, such as food and being able to feel warm. What I want to say is, having a bed. I think she also mentioned being able to sleep in a nice mattress where you're not just sleeping on a hard mattress on the floor or something. You're able to sleep on a hard mattress. So here's what I think. I think that the idea of people earning some of these amenities is a good thing. However, I feel like this is one of those things that can easily be taken too far. For instance, being able to not feel cold and being able to eat healthy meals is not something that I think should be earned. I think that is something that should be readily available to everyone, especially considering the strenuous circumstances that the kids have to be in. They have to do actual ranch work. They have to use tools and do actual ranch work and move around a lot. And some of their punishment or their training involves sleep deprivation, which is a huge no-no in my opinion. And so being able to eat healthy foods and the part about being able to stay in heat are the two things that really bothers me the most, because regardless of whether or not they know the kids' health circumstance before the kids go there, you don't really know how a person will react when their health, even if they're healthy, in addition to the sleep deprivation and all these other tasks that the kids have to do, you don't know how they will react. You don't know what turn their health, their mental health will take. And it can be very tricky because people react differently to the same thing. For instance, that kid that ended up, getting really angry and killing one of the staffers, who is to say that the amount of stress and pressure that they put him under did not cause him to do that? Perhaps he would not have done that under normal circumstances. These kids are troubled, but there's a difference between a kid who shoplifts and is very stubborn and backtalks and a kid who actually kills a person. There's a huge difference. I don't know this other boy that was over there that ended up killing one of the staffers, but I don't know if he's done that before, if he's committed murder before. I don't know. I doubt it. And if that is the first time that he committed it, then that is something that they really need to look into and see how these kids are responding to the amount of stress that they're putting them through. Another thing I want to say is all of these things that Danielle described sounds like punishments to me. It sounds like the kids are being punished for doing something wrong, and they're trying to correct the kids' behavior by taking certain basic things from them so that the kids will eventually learn how to act properly. And this sounds like punishment. Now, I'm not one who is against punishment. I think punishment definitely serves its purpose and depends on what the kids do. They should be punished. However, I don't think that when someone, for instance, someone like Danielle or maybe any of the other kids that is acting out as a result of perhaps being abused one way or another, because some of these kids, their parents are nothing to write about. Sometimes the problems actually lie with the parents or some relatives that puts them through some really terrible things, and the kids are reacting to the negative environment that they're brought up in. So if you're then punishing the kids for having a normal reaction to their negative environment, I don't see how they will learn from that. I don't see how that will correct their behavior. I think more than anything, some of these kids need therapy to get through what caused their behavior. And I feel like the cause of their behavior may not be the focus there. I think that from what I've heard, people, the staffers at these kinds of ranches tend to focus on the kids' behavior and try to correct their behavior, not on the cause of their behavior. Because if they were to focus on the cause of some of these kids' behaviors, honestly, the staffers wouldn't even focus on the kids at all. They won't be speaking to the kids at all. They will be speaking to the kids' parents. They'll be speaking to the kids' guardians and relatives and the other people around the kids that may have caused the kids to begin to act out. Nobody just acts out of the blue for no reason. People's behavior is driven by one thing or the other. Sometimes it's subconscious, sometimes it's conscious. They react to the environment around them, and that's why they act the way that they do. And I feel like if these kids are being punished for behaving badly in response to their negative experiences, that's not going to help them. That's not going to cure them. And I think that some of the kids that are helped in these kinds of places are kids whose behaviors were addressed properly. So I don't think the ranch is all bad. I think that their methods work for some kids. But if other kids' problems, like if the source of the kids' problems is outside of the child himself or herself, let's say it's their parents, then teaching the kids how to behave without really addressing the source of the problem is not going to help the child. It's not going to help them. So that's what really bothers me about these kinds of places. I also want to say something else. So Danielle was at this ranch, and another kid that ended up killing, I think it was accidental, but killing one of the staffers, was also at the ranch. I don't know if they were at the ranch at the same time or not, but even if Danielle was not there, I'm sure some other boy or girl, some other kid was there at the same time as this other boy that ended up killing one of the staffers. So it makes you wonder, like, some of these kids are only there for things like shoplifting and being destructive around the house, not really violence towards other people. And they're being mixed by kids that are showing violence, like this level of violence towards adults to the point of ending their lives. And I don't think those two should mix at all. I don't think they should be put in the same place. I think that kids like that should be separated from one another. It's almost like having someone who committed white collar crime, who stole some money because he was an accountant at a bank, and putting him in the same prison as a cartel member that has a long list of people whose lives he has ended. And you basically put them in the same place, and they're going through the same kind of teachings and punishments and tasks, and you're housing them in the same place. That's what it feels like to me. And it was very scary the way she described it, because it's like, seriously, a lot of these kids are still very young at heart, while some of them are very hardened. I'm not trying to downplay the damage that some of these kids can cause. What I'm saying in this case is that some of these kids should not be mixed with each other at all. They should be separated. I don't know if maybe they should be in a separate part of the ranch, or a ranch should be dedicated to the more serious offending kids. But mixing them is a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So I know that there's some celebrities that have talked about this. I know Paris Hilton is an advocate for kids that are sent to these kinds of places. And I know that the professionals like Dr. Phil that send kids there have good intentions. Even the place itself, the ranch, has good intentions, and they have all these rules in place. I know they have some serious rules in place. However, As much as everyone wants these kinds of places to be the solution, it's not always the case. A lot of these kids end up being abused in these kinds of places, and when they speak, nobody listens, nobody takes them seriously. They have no electronic device on them, so they cannot record what's going on, so they will have no proof of what they're going through, and all people have is their word, and nobody listens to them. And sometimes it just hardens the kids even more, and it doesn't help them. And regarding the rules that these kinds of places have, I think that those rules will only work if the staffers follow them to the T. And I don't think that will be the case, because Danielle herself said it. She said they have rules that the staffs follow, but if the staff become angry and there's no one around and it's just them and the kids, they sometimes make up their own rules and punish the kids however they want. And that's scary. So I think more people need to talk about this, because a lot of kids are sent to these places and it just turns them into criminals and hardens them even more. It doesn't really help the situation. Anyway, that's all I have on this. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one. Bye, guys.